What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dorky and 40 RC channel. I'm Chad. Put a video out the other day about the castle and just some Q&A stuff, and a lot of people are wanting to see my ESC settings, the cheat mode settings, and everything like that. So I figured we put together a short little video going over some of that stuff. What settings I use to get my fastest speeds, what settings I'm using to get my most consistent speeds, and just kind of maybe give you guys some pointers. It's really not too hard. The castle is a little tricky if you're compared to, say, an RX-8, because it's very sensitive. You set your beginning time for its algorithm and not your end time. If you don't know, if you have a Tekin RX-8, you pick your end RPMs that you want, and then it'll let you select from the front side, where Castle kind of works a little bit differently and it doesn't go as low. So let's go to the Castle link here and I'll show you real quick. We'll bring this over into the middle of the screen so we can zoom in on it when we put this in post. So here's just the basic settings that you can see. No voltage cutoff. 6 volts on the back, 30% brakes, drag brake 12.5. I mess with those every once in a while. This seems to be like a pretty good setting for me right now, where the car's not spinning a lot at the end of the pool. Power, start power is high, max 100%. Reverse at 40, and punch is 0. This is a question that comes up a few times about what you want your punch set at. And if you click on the little question mark and read down through here, 0% disabled, no acceleration limited, 100% as much as your battery will flow, and if it can maintain the voltage. So that is what we want. For sure, that's what we want. Never did any of this torque limit testing or nothing like that. Advanced mode, so nothing really crazy going on here. And motor, so this is where we get into the meat and the potatoes here. So this is my current settings that I've been running right now. This is with a ramp of -96, a point of 25, and nothing else at all on the Sanwa M17. This is as simple and easy as you can get to keep things consistent. If you start messing around with custom curves and changing your p-values, then things are going to start getting a little wonky. Once you get like a good tuned, consistent tune, this is like a 2-1 run, 2-1-3 that I've got dialed in here. So you can see that I'm running all 45 degrees. I'm sure if I played with gearing a little bit and maybe went up on the spur or down on the pinion or both, I could probably take some of the timing out of it and kind of play around with things, but it's just really too late in the season to do a whole lot of that. I think maybe the next time I'm out this weekend, I might try dropping the pinion just to see what's going on, because since I did change my RPM range, I did lose about 3 or 4 miles per hour, went from like 70, 71 to about 66, 67. And basically that's just because we're pulling the whole time. We're not like pumping it all in and trying to just like keep going and coasting, or, pull through the end without adding any timing. And we'll talk about that after we go through here. So what you got to do is click on custom, and you can see I'm at 6,800 to 75,400. Now I found out that originally with the first range I was running, my car was pulling about 85,000 RPMs. Now it's pulling about 80,000. So I want my end RPM to be as close to or after my end RPM on my car. So I'm pretty close right here. I could probably bump it up and change it a little bit and pull even more. And but that, again, that's just something that I'm going to have to play with at the track. But you can see that, like, if I put in, let's say I want to start my RPMs at 1,000. Well, it won't even let you. The lowest it'll let you do is 1,900. And then it's only going to let you go to 3,900. And I'm not sure why. It's just something that's built into their algorithms. You go to like 6,000. And you go and click on here, it'll let you go to 30,400. Now, I believe what I ran at my fastest this is when I was running with a custom curve. I started at 6,600 to 56,300. So we were squeezing all of our timing in, and basically 20,000 less RPMs. And, you know, with the custom curve and the sandwalk kind of smoothing that out a little bit, that's how we were able to hit, you know, at that time, those were 2.1s on the GNSS. And, you know, if we go by today's standards, that would have been like a 192 on our tree. And around that, I know it's debatable, and, you know, I don't really know if I believe it or not. But right now, you know, my goal is for smoothest consistency, just, you know, doing everything just great. If you change just this by, say, 50, you can see that it went up to 6,700. So now it'll let us go up to 64,600. And if we go to 6,800, click the drop down, now we can go back to where we were. And if I want to go a little higher, which maybe we will while we're here, so let me go, that's a pretty big jump. So you can see that we went to 89,500. So if I wanted to do that, I am going to have to find a gearing that's going to let my car make that much speed. That is like, you know, it's like a 15, yeah, it's like almost a 15,000 RPM jump. So, and it won't let you go 6850 with the algorithm. It takes you to 6,900. So again, I might, if I want to run this, then I'm going to have to run at least, I don't know. I might try it with the way it is now. I mean, we'll wait until we get to the track. I'm going to put it back to here just because these are the numbers that are running great for me right now. So 68,000 to 75,400. That is what we're looking at. And real quick, go into logging, set whatever parameters you want, 10 samples per second. You want the biggest, best logs you can get. And then there's nothing going on in throttle, brake curve, or nothing like that at all. So it's all just pretty much standard, simple stuff. If we go into the actual Castle graph and load up some stuff here, we can load up the last runs that I had, and you can see all of the different, oh, that's the wrong one. Here's a couple hits that we ran. I think I showed this in my last video. And, you know, this is what you want to look at here. You know, you can zoom in like this, and it's kind of hard to see exactly what you're doing by doing this kind of zooming. The best thing to do is just go to view and choose what session you want. So let's just bust out this session all together. And then let's go ahead and just zoom in on this part right here. And I'll go ahead and show you guys what I'm talking about. So you can see this is our throttle input right here, and this is the RPMs. And you can see that we're making RPMs all the way until we're cutting off 0 to 0 throttle. So 100%, it's pulling the whole way. You know, if we started to flatten out here or something like that, which you can kind of see that it's tapering off right there. So maybe there's more RPMs left in there, change some gearing or something like that. The biggest thing though to look at here is the beginning. And if you look right here, the blue line intersection, that is like where my throttle point was. And I was running that at like 0.20. So if I move that to 0.25, what's going to happen is it shifts everything to the left here, and it compresses the ramp. So it makes the ramp a little bit more aggressive. So you can play around with that point a little bit as well. And that's just, you know, I don't want to get into like the custom curves and stuff yet, because that's kind of going down like a whole rabbit hole. And just to keep it simple for everybody, that if you're starting out with like a Castle system, you know, try to work with just the regular ramp and gearing and stuff like that to get your car where it's super solid and you can always come back to it. And then we can start playing with custom P curves so we can figure out where exactly in that ramp we want to try to start making some adjustments. Like looking at this right here, I would probably want to kind of mellow this out a little bit right here, so that way I can kind of bring it up higher at the end, and that might increase us a little bit faster right here. You just have to run these things and play with them and see what happens. But again, that's like, you know, getting into changing gearings and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I'm not going to have a lot of time left here this year to do that kind of stuff. This run here, you can see we made almost 78,000 RPMs. Not sure why we didn't make more on that one. I think these were some of my first runs where I had some slippage and stuff like that going on. The other log is going to be on my laptop, actually. Now, here's some slippage, 112,000 RPMs right there. So that's definitely not a good one to look at. And this one here, I think that was just my regular, yeah, that's just my making some quick hits when I first get out the track, just to check out my steering servo and everything like that. So yeah, that is those are my castle settings for right now. Nothing super fancy, plenty of room to go either way, either with less timing and more gearing, or, you know, just throw the whole freaking kit and caboodle at it and tune everything, you know, with the SANWA and all that stuff. You know, that's my settings right here, right when I turned it on. You can see I'm running at -96 and 25 point. Now, when I go out the next time, maybe without touching anything in the castle, kind of do what maybe Bo said, which is maybe I would increase that RPM range and then try running it at a 97. There's just so much stuff you can do with like this and that castle and everything else. You know, with any speed control, really, it doesn't have to be the castle. The RX-8 works the same way. Again, it's just you choose an end point instead of a beginning point, and their algorithm seems to let you, you know, move stuff around. I don't know which one is better as far as, you know, we don't know when we're truly getting our timing. We're assuming that if it says we're getting 45 degrees, that we're going to get it all before we get to this point. We don't know how much we're getting, like every 10th of a second or anything like that. That would be like your slew rate on your DRK. We don't have those kind of settings or adjustments here. It's just basically turn it on and how much do you want us to try to give you. So I hope that helped some of you guys and made some of you guys happy to show you some of that stuff. The car is still dirty and still has rocks and stuff stuck to it from about 2 weeks ago now. So we should be out this weekend, fingers crossed, as long as the weather is all good. So that is going to do it, guys. We will talk to you later.